Good afternoon, coaches. This is USA Coaches Clinics here in Las Vegas, and we really appreciate the fact that you've come to this clinic. Over 1,300 coaches from 29 states attended this clinic. You're going to have the opportunity to look at these lecture tapes and benefit a great deal. It can help your team become better on the field.
Guys, it is a privilege. It is an honor to be here. It really speaks volumes about you guys being here. Y'all could be doing something else, and I do understand that Las Vegas is pretty nice. So I hope y'all are enjoying that. What I like to do is start off and just talk about drills and skills, and then show a tape. Coach mentioned those different places that I coached. And there was a time, guys, I coached up front. I coached linebackers. I coached defensive tackles. Believe it or not, my first coaching job, I coached offensive line. So, hey, those were gravy jobs. I did not have any gray hair, man. Honest to goodness. And then one day I got smart. I said, you know what? Before I was back there coaching, I was coaching those linebackers, and that ball would break through the line of scrimmage, and what if there's somebody back there to stop it? They throw that ball deep, and I was just like some of these other linebacker coaches, man. What's going on back there? Stop that. What's going on? You know? And then in about 1983, I got real smart. I decided that I'm going to have an opportunity I had an opportunity to coach defensive backs for the first time. And so I remember standing over there, man, and I'm saying, they're going deep. And that's me. That ball breaks. That's me. So, you know, and those gray hairs start popping out. Then, I coached it in the Pac-10. I thought that was, against Troy Aikman and those guys. Well, I thought that was something else. Then I coached at Texas A&M in the Big 12, and they ran the ball some, threw it some at Texas, and thought that was something else. But then I got smart again. Had an opportunity to go coach in the SEC. I said, God dog, man. That first day out there against Florida, a lot of times in a lot of these conferences, you coach against, there's a great wide receiver over there, you can double him. But you go play Florida, and there's three guys. You know, there's three guys every week. Play Georgia, there are two other great receivers. Play LSU, there are two. And man, I said, wow. Well, what a challenge and what an honor it is to coach in the SEC and coach defensive backs. And guys, our job is to stop the big play, to make plays. That's your job. Stop the big play run, stop the big play pass, and that's the thing that sometimes guys don't understand. If you do that, you're going to win a lot of football games. And so it all starts, guys. It starts with drills and skills, and when you do those drills, you make certain that you're doing them based on the things that you see in games. I've gone to practices, and I've seen guys go out there, and I said, what's that drill for? And what's that drill for? And they got those guys, man, and they're drilling them up, and they really can't explain why. All right? And you want your players to play hard. You want your players to understand. Put your drill tape on, put a game tape on, and let those guys see you doing the same things that's happening in the game. All right? So that's what I want to start with. And the quicker you can get to what I call speed in the face, where you got wide receivers going against your DBs and you're doing those drills, the better off you're going to be. All right? Because all of us can go. And you guys have been in camps where you go out there and you're teaching the back pedal, and boy, it's really neat. You get down that good stance and you teach them that back pedal, and after a while, they're pretty good at it. They're pretty good. You go on in back pedal recovery, they're pretty good at it. But then all of a sudden, all that great coaching gets thrown out of the window when that receiver comes off of that ball, and all that great coaching, then those shoulders pop up, butt sinks, taking bad steps. So get that speed in the face as quickly as possible. When we start out, and again, I want to put this tape on here, and you guys, if you got questions, please feel free to ask. we start out, and we're going to start out just like everybody else in the teaching sequence. We're going to make certain that you got a good stance. And the thing that we want to do, guys, we want to make certain that we got no more than toe to heel stagger. We want to be in a position to run. One of the mistakes that people make when they get in stance, is that they get them all down real low like that. But guess what's going to happen? When they get real low like that and the ball snaps, those shoulders are going to come up. So I want them to be in a good stance, a good position to run, feet no more than shoulder width apart, toe to heel, and I want those arms to be kind of dangling right here as we go. I want them to be in a good natural position, good body lean, good natural position to be in that stance, okay? So as we go, that's the beginning of it. So we're going to start with stance. The next thing that a DB has to be able to do, he has to be able to backpedal. And so this is part of those drills. So we'll start him off. He's got that good stance. He's comfortable. And as he pushes off, what we will do to start the drill is that I'll just tell him to take one step. Because one of the big problems is that we overstride when we take that step. So what I want to do is take that one step. We're right here, and I just say, go. I kind of give them a little movement, go. And so they take that one step. And then next thing, we're going to go ahead and get into the back pedal. Keep it in mind that the next phase of it is important too, very important, is that now I want to be able to recover. So as I back pedal, keep that in mind. So I back pedal, I want to keep my feet close to the ground, all right? I want to keep my feet close to the ground, and as I back pedal, guys, I used to be one of those guys that you know, we start them off, and I still do this to warm them up. Well, we start them off running them backwards, then running them forwards. Well, there's a little bit difference in that, and when we back pedal, what I like to do is keep those arms quiet, all right? And as we back pedal, I push off of that front foot. That's why I do that first step. Push off of that front foot, and as I back pedal and I'm doing it correctly, you can almost hear my feet, or my feet scraping the grass, all right? So keeping low, and the thing that I started with before about stance is that I want to be comfortable. So wherever I start, I want my shoulders to stay in that plane. So as you watch his back pedal, if you see the shoulders come up, then we're usually not in a comfortable stance. And two things, as I back pedal, you see the butt goes down, so I'm standing back there as a coach, I'm saying, push your butt up. So as we back pedal, push your butt up, keeping those pecs over my knees as I back pedal. So keeping that in mind, you want to stay away from overstriding when you're backpedaling. You want to keep your arms. Now, really important about the arms, a good natural backup. If you watch Herm Edwards, the way he coaches his guys, those guys are like this. You're talking about keeping their arms still. They're like this. They're like that. To me, that's a little bit unnatural. All right? I think what's natural is that when I back up, I got a little hammer right here. I'm not like this, but I'm like this. My guy's a little bit more natural like that. So I'm getting some shoulder rotation. I'm just not wasting a whole lot of motion doing it. All right? So as you watch that, that's very important, because the next phase, and I'm going fast, guys, because I want to get to show you guys some of these pictures. The next phase is that I got to be able to recover. So I come out, we go stance. Now let's go back pedal, and then after that we got to recover. So as we back pedal, I want to be able to change directions, and a lot of people teach it differently, guys, when they recover. Some guys say, well, you take a side step. Some guys do it, and they keep their feet moving, that kind of thing. I've seen it all right? What I try not to do is overcoach it. If I got a guy that's really good at changing directions, and it's, you know, and that kind of little bicycling effect, then I don't worry about it. But we've gotten to the point that very few of our guys are doing that, because we want to be explosive, guys. We want to be explosive coming out of our break. So what's the best way to do that? The best way to come out of that break is that when I put my foot in the ground, the more violent I put my foot in the ground, the more explosive I'm going to go. And so guys say, well, do you teach a side turn? No, what I tell them is that I want to get as many spikes in the ground as possible. So if you guys can't see, you'll see some of this on a tape. But what I want to do, my feet are turned slightly. Because again, if I'm just keeping them straight, then what am I doing? I'm getting 2 or 3 spikes in the ground. When I put my foot in the ground like that, I can be explosive, and I'm getting a lot of spikes in the ground. So I want to get as many spikes in the ground as possible. I want to be explosive. Guys, as you coach it, always coach burst. Always talk burst. Don't let those guys go out there and just back up and run forward. Always back up, burst, beat them back. Everything you do, talk burst, beat them back. So it's about the more spikes I put in the ground, the more explosive I get. We call that punch and replace. It's like climbing steps or climbing a ladder. When I put this foot down, what does the next one do? It replaces it, okay? So we want to start here, punch and replace. Now, we got some real good drills that we'll do for that, all right? One drill that we'll do, and my guys don't like it a lot, is kind of a progression drill. It's I'll line up about 6 cones, and all I'll do is got a guy here and a guy here, and we got those cones, and we'll back up, and I call it the cone drill. But we'll back up, foot in the ground, back up, and so I'm working on this side, I'm working my left foot, putting it in the ground. On this side of the cone, I'm working my right foot, putting it in the ground. And so you're doing that over and over and over again, just training that, and you can see it. Slow it down. Put that tape on, and we can do some things, guys, and I would, if you can do it, sometimes video from on the field, right there. Video the feet. And what I do as I watch the tape, I ask my guys to critique each other. So they're constantly looking at that stuff. Because that is such a big deal, being able to beat that receiver back, to put that foot in the ground, to plant and drive. So you got to be able to do that. And, we will also do a what I call an M drill. And if you notice with most of my drills, they aren't going to be like 20 yards here and 30 yards there. They're going to be within about a 10, 15-yard deal. Okay? So now let's do a little M drill. Line up and do that M drill, and we're going to do the same thing. We're training the feet. So it'll look like this. Back up, boom, here. Back up, boom, here. Everything is quick. What am I doing? Putting that foot in the ground. Putting that foot in the ground. Every time. And so it's all quick. Give them that signal. And the other thing that I do with my drills, guys, I got a ball, as you'll see in the tape. I got guys throwing, catching, okay, every time, all right? Then the next thing I got to be able to do as a skill, I got to be able to backpedal and turn. Backpedal and turn. So I'm backing up. I've got my good stance, good backpedal. I know how to recover. So now I'm backing up, and as I turn, the mistake that's made is that when we turn, we open up 1 step, 2 steps, we go run. What we want to do is pivot. I want to get the shoulders down, back pedal, shoulder around here, pivot, and run. Back pedal, shoulder down, pivot, run. And again, what's the word? Burst. Don't just let them back pedal, turn and run. Back pedal, turn and burst. And you should see it, guys. It doesn't have to be about 5 yards, but make them burst every time. All right? So that's back pedal, turn. When we do the drill, I want them to take that full turn and burst. I don't want them looking back. I know in zone defense we're going to do that, all right? But right now we're just drilling that to get those shoulders around, because I put on tape and I see guys getting beat on the go route because they do this. They take a half turn. They backpedal, put that foot right here to that right there and go, and they get beat on the go route, all right? So we work that. Now, that old receiver, he sold me on the go route. So now I got to backpedal, turn, and recover. And when you do it on a line. Watch the games, and you're going to see this happen. Backpedal, turn, recover. Okay, on the line. Okay, so it'll look like this. I'll go backpedal, turn, bring them back. All right, I won't tell them when I'm going to turn them, but it's a back pedal, turn, beat them back down the line. That happens. That's reality. Put the tape on. You'll see them. You'll see that happening to your defensive backs. All right? And then the next one that I use is what I call back pedal. Now he sells me on the go route, but he comes back across. So it's back pedal, turn, across at a 45-degree angle. Back pedal, turn across. And what are you, again, putting a lot of emphasis on this, men. You're doing what you see. Don't just go out there and say, oh, we're doing this footwork drills. They don't really mean a whole lot, but we're just going out there doing these drills. When you start doing those footwork drills and they mean something, you got a good chance that your kids are going to get better at it. All right? Now, all of us get to post corner. All right? So it's the same thing. Back pedal, now, beat them to the post. And a lot of times I like to put a wide receiver in here as I go. Back pedal, open, get my head and eyes back around to the receiver. And again, what am I? I'm eliminating the bad steps. I want to stay away from rounding things off. Back pedal, turn. It ought to look like this, guys. Back pedal, burst to the post, back, burst to the corner. And as you watch the one-on-one drills, sometimes that wide receiver beats you on the corner route. But guess what? It takes time, doesn't it? And if the guy does a good job turning, he can catch up. So all of those are the kind of things that we do in our individual period, all right, is that we do those all the time. And we get, of course, you get into your tackling drills and that type of thing. Those kind of things are crucial, as you'll see on the tape. Any questions so far? Any questions? And I know there are different ways. People, yes, sir.
On the post corner, is it always best to turn and run to the post, or is it if your guys stem to the post? That way they don't have to turn their body completely around to get back.
It depends, again, it depends on the wide receiver. Wide receiver gives you a bad fake, then you don't need a speed turn. But if you are breaking full speed, guess what's going to happen? I'm breaking full speed. I'm going to speed turn now, all right? Because if I'm breaking full speed and then I try to go back and do that, I'm not going to get him covered. If he does a poor job on his route, then I may cover it that way. But if he does a great job selling me on that post, then, buddy, it's going to usually be a speed turn. Okay? Any other questions on?
Yeah. Back on your line drill, that how much do you emphasize the elbow when you turn the field side elbow? If I'm kids, if I don't work on it enough, they're going to pop up. Do you have a special thing you do, unlock the door, or what?
Again, I don't get real complicated. I just drill it over and over again, and as I coach it, we're looking at it. Our players are critiquing each other on it. I want to make certain that as they turn, they keep that shoulder down. They keep that shoulder down, they turn and run.
More shoulder than the elbow.
Yes. And the key to all of this, guys, make it as natural as possible. Make it as natural as possible. I've seen guys come in and have 100 different ways or 100 different things that they say, you got to do this, you got to do, and all this kind of stuff. Man, you want to free them up. You want to get them shoulders down and turn and burst. And what's the most efficient way to do it? Okay? And so, that's how we do it. Any other questions on back pedal? Yes, sir.
So you guard it from the outside in.
It depends on what we're in. If we're in zone coverage, obviously by split we're going to be outside, and zone means C quarterback, periph receiver. Man means C man. If you can periph, C quarterback. So a lot of which way we turn will be determined on that. Now sometimes we play man free outside technique by split, and we may actually end up turning that way.
If you turn that way and he's on the outside of you, when the ball's in the air, do you want him to turn to the receiver and look at the ball?
Okay, that's going to take you to the next drill. And I hope I have that drill. I don't know if I have that drill on here or not. But is it and again, remember when I first started talking, guys, the purpose, stop the big play. And what he's asking is a great question. All these drills, it's like putting the foot down and driving at a proper angle to the upfield shoulder. That's how you stop the big play. Now the drill that what he's asking me is about, plan the fade, when do I look back, you know, all this stuff. What we do, I call that phase drill, all right? What I'll do is that I'll start out, stand up for a second, man, you get, you know, okay. We'll do a drill, and we call it phase. And we try to do this as much as possible. As we're working, what I'll do to start off, just to kind of facilitate the drill, I'll call this is out of phase. Now, there's the receiver. All right, he's ahead of me. And we're going to run. When he starts to go, what he's going to do, and I'll do it two ways. When I first do it, I put a ball in his hand right there. He's running like this. And then he's going to simulate a catch. Okay? And then the next thing I'll do is that I'll throw the ball with my guy behind. And then they got to go. So as we go, we're going, I'm behind, I'm running to catch up, he puts his hands up. Now what I want to do is come strip, okay? Be as physical as I can, stripping the football. And what I'm trying to teach him is not to do what? To look back. He's got separation on me. Don't panic. And I always tell him too, but if you really beat, tackle him. It's a 15-yard penalty, all right? Okay? But right now, I'm out of phase. And this is what you guys is critical. You know, this right here, this stuff causes coaches their jobs because guys get behind and they all want to do what? They want to find the ball. And when they find the ball, he drifts on them, and there's a catch. Okay? So in the real world, what we do is this, and maybe sometimes I see it work, and sometimes I think it's theory, but what we try to do, we're running with them. If I'm a little bit out of phase and I look back and I don't see that ball, I'm coming right back to him. But the key is that I want to be focused. I'm out of phase. I got to play the ball out of the pocket. Sometimes it may be here. I want to put my hand here to get the ball out. I want to be physical. When we say strip, be physical in the drill, getting that ball out, all right? And then the next part of it is in phase. Now I'm in phase. I'm in the dominant position. Now go. So now I can do this. As we're going now, we're going to put a ball in it. Well, we're running. Sideline's over here. I got him now. I'm pinned. I got him pinned now. Now what can I do? I can get my head and eyes back around and look for the football. Okay? So it's understanding that. Am I in phase? Am I out of phase? And
I'll be out of phase again one more time.
Out of phase, I'm right here. I'm behind. We start like this. He starts running. I run like crazy to catch up. And now we're gonna strip the football. We're playing everything right here now.
Basically, you just play his hands.
Play his hands. Yeah. When he comes up to catch the football, he looks back around to catch the football. He gets that way. Now, a lot of times those good players, guys, a lot of times they say, well, when does he look back? Well, a lot of times those good players got that clock, man. And sometimes you may be, guys, out of phase. He's running. Well, now he runs himself what? Back into phase, and he does what? He goes and gets the ball. And so there's a time. I see a lot of guys get beat like this, though, guys. They're running like this. They're not in phase. They look back, and that ball is thrown right there. You got to be in phase, you want to have him pinned, okay? You want to have him pinned. You want to be in a position. They won't call it, man, if you got him here. If you got your arm held out like that, there's a chance they're going to call that. But if you're naturally running, I'm going to run them out of bounds and get my head around, and play that, okay? While I got him here, another drill that I do is what I call an out drill. And the out drill really does a good job, and I don't think all these are on the tape, but I think they're very important, again, stopping a big play. So now we're going to start like this. I like to put two corners. Those safeties get upset when I say put a corner and a safety in the drill, and the corner always wins. You know, so they get kind of competitive. So we'll start like this. I got a coach right here. And we back up, slightly back up. He's going to back us up. Then he's going to indicate that way. He becomes a receiver, and he's going to break kind of downhill. He becomes a receiver, and I'm the DB. The rule is this. If I can get both hands on the football, what do? I go intercept the football. If I can only get one hand on the football, what do? I strip and I tackle. I strip and I tackle, all right? And then, of course, he gets both hands. He catches the ball, I call, I still haven't given up. I strip and tackle him, but I got him. And do that over and over again because this is what happens, man, in the real world. You guys see it happen all the time. Run the drill. He goes at that angle right there. And what do I want to do always? I want to look where? I want to look at the ball. So I start doing this, and what does he do? He fades. So I make my guys do this. When we go break, ready, go, break, my eyes are right here first. And see what that does? Now my eyes are right here. Now I can get back here because I'm going at the right angle. All right? So it's just a reception point drill, but it's teaching them discipline. I've seen so many big plays, guys going for the football and got no chance of getting it. The guy catches the football, he's gone. So it's the thing about in this area of coaching, you're getting to the point where decision making is very, very important with you guys because you sever the cord. Okay, those man ball skills, they got to do. So you put them in that situation over and over again where they understand it, where they're out of phase and they don't panic, where they're in phase and they know they can go get the football, where they're breaking on the upfield shoulder. Guy runs an out route. I want to make certain, and I do this, guys. I do a drill where, and in the old days I used to train them the wrong way. I put them right here, and everything was breaking on that quarterback right there. Thing was breaking on that quarterback, so I'm training my guys every time to do what? Do that. So what I started doing, I put a ball out there. All right? Okay, so now I'm the quarterback, and I'll give them a 3-step read, but when they break, they got to go do this. So that's simulating breaking to the receiver. All right? So I'll do 2 lines. I have a guy out there throwing the ball, I have a guy out there throwing the ball, and the DBs are looking at me to start, but then they got to do this to focus on the receiver. Okay? 3-step drill. Now, the other one, like I was talking about, the out, and it just goes right back to this. He runs an out, go through his upfield shoulder, get in position first. And these are critical things, man, because they all want to do what? Find the ball. They start breaking, they want to do that. So if you will stop some big plays if you can get this point across to you guys. As I break on the ball, break to the receiver. Okay? If he runs an out and up, what am I going to do? I'm going to collision him. If he runs a stutter and go, and I'm breaking to the receiver, what is going to happen? I'm going to collision him. All right? So you train them that way. You train them that way to do those things.
Coach, offenses start to implement that underthrow. You do anything to coach your guys up on that?
What's that?
That underthrow, that short pass, like on the goal line, that short fade, that stop fade?
Stop fade, same thing, guys. I mean, it's like you get a feel. I'm going to give you a little key to the thing that I think helps you if you can understand. When that receiver takes that release and he stretches himself, you're going to get a comeback or you're going to get that stop fade. If they're going to run the true go route, guess what he's going to do? He's taking you upfield so that he can have some room to run the go route. But if you ever get him coming off, and we get them as much as you think, boy, in the NFL they're going to do it. Watch some of the NFL. Those guys also will tell you. Those college guys will tell you. Some guys are very good at it and they'll try to disguise it. But when they come off of that football, man, if they start like that, and you haven't done anything to them, you're playing bump, and that stretches, then play for that. Play for that. And then the next thing that happens is that I try to get my guys to get their body on it. Because we want to be on that upfield shoulder. But if that guy's right there, I like to try to get my body on him so I know where he is. Okay? That is a tough route. But try to understand the stem of that receiver. That'll help you. Okay? You can see us again, that footwork drill. Putting the foot down, put them in the ground, bam, little M drill, bam, and then have a football. I'm going to just let it run as we talk through it. All right? Again, just working that footwork. Everything emphasizing that. Okay, there's your back pedal turn and recover. As much as possible, guys, give them as much as possible, giving the ball. And this is just a drill that we put in here, guys, because we play so much bump and run that we see that. We see that. Those weren't perfect, but we see that right there. Those corners in particular, they get going and they get turned. All right, this is my out drill we talked about. I mean, my 3-step drill. You see where I'm actually right here. I'm here. I got the coaches out here, but I'm making them see me. You can see that. Again, breaking to the reception point. Now there's your phase drill. That's out of phase. We did it this time with the ball, but you can see it out of phase. Okay? And we'll go faster But I want them to really teach them to be disciplined. Then I'm just going to go through this open field tackle drills. Want to stop the big plays. When you're in the open field, you got to understand, because again, these are those things that stop big plays. If you're in the open field, you got to understand where your help is. If it's a sideline drill, well, you're going to see us guys, I got that sideline to help me. I'm going upfield, I'm standing behind the receiver, I'm stopping the cutback, I can be full speed. But when you're out in the open field and you got a ball carrier, the first thing I want to do, I want to close that gap. And now, as he starts to the right or left, as he starts here, I want to stay square and shuffle here, because if I pull the trigger and I miss him, it's a touchdown. I want to always give myself a chance that if he's got a little bit more speed than I anticipate, that I can do this and go cut him off, because I want to give our guys, our defense, a chance to line up again. So it's working. We work them at about 15 yards, and they sprint into about 5 yards. And at 5 yards, that back can go either way. And as he goes, I'm working, and then I'll go pull the trigger. I'm working, then I got to go cut him off and stop the big play. So that's what that's all about. This guy, let me tell you about this little kid right here. That's Buck Fitzgerald. That guy right there, I don't know if y'all remember, we beat Florida, Steve Spurrier down at the Swamp. And Steve was really big. One of his basic concepts was isolating his best receiver, that was Jabari Gaffney at the time, on your worst defender. That was Buck Fitzgerald at the time. 2-point play, and they were going for their 2-point play to win it. To tie it, all right? My man just jammed that boy up. He wore him out. Just that one play, Buck was a lot better than Jabari Jabari Gaffney. So that was a little bit on that. But as we're tackling now here's your speed in your face drill. We're just doing a little release drill here with the wide receivers. We're working some cover 2 jamming. But again, all this is, we started just pure individual. Now we're starting to do some group stuff, okay? Starting to work some group stuff. Just trying to jam them, get our hands on them. And we want to jam them and sink and do all that stuff. Right now, our big emphasis was just about this. Jam them and sink. So again, we'll start doing different coverages with this. We will also do, I think I got it here in a minute, where we'll do some bump and run with it, but we're just working with those receivers on our technique. Go a little bit faster here. Just get as many reps as we can with the speed, those receivers working. Okay? Then you get into your one-on-one. Now, here's your drill again. You're going to see some of your footwork stuff. Watch this guy. I'm going to put his foot down the ground. I got a couple of good ones where you'll see them. Now you're still in group, but you're working all those drills that you talked about. You're working still on an upfield shoulder. Got a chance to get both hands on the football. Go get it. Here we go. Put that foot down. All right. Your double move. Got to play it. Go through the receiver. Your double move. You get all this in one-on-one. I got to be able to change all that quickness. And you see where all that quickness is happening? Within a 5 to 10 yard area, guys. All right? There you go. You see him put that foot in the ground? Train him. Here's your 3-step drop game. You saw me be doing a little bit ago when I had had the quarterback outside, and I'm giving them a 3-step drop and they're breaking on the football. That's what that's all about. Those guys, when we play off, we want to see through and clue that quarterback for his first 3 steps. And then when your drills start to come into play, bam, put the foot down. And if you really look at it closely, you'll see that little getting those spikes in the ground. You see those putting those spikes in the ground. There's your back pedal, turn and recover right there. Back pedal, turn and recover. Okay? You get all this stuff in the real world. There's your turn right there. You train them to do all those things that you see happen. All right? Good job. Good job. Make those decisions. Okay, now let's go to the next drill. Again, this is group. Now we're working 3-on-2. Okay? we're very fortunate, guys, to our wide receivers coaches, our guys have been really good at helping us, because the more speed we get, the more chances we get to do this, and we just call coverages. All right, so we're going to just disguise it up, playing man under with it. Okay, look the same, playing man under with it. Okay. But I think you guys are getting the gist of it as we progress through it. Okay, disguise it. Okay. But you get to work on all those techniques. Now, another one of those drills that you do, guys, with the receivers. I call this the bounce drill. All right. It's a perimeter drill. They're trying to get the ball on the perimeter. We got to get a good job right there, guys. Taking that thing on, getting my head and hands, coming up through right there, controlling it and the receiver. But put them in the real world. Put them in the real world. Put them against the good guys in these drills. You got to work keeping the outside arm free. Sometimes they don't do a good job blocking us. Put them in the, bam, get them off of you. You get some of that too. You see that holding right there? I don't complain about it. That's all is fair in love and war, baby. You get them off of you. Don't come back and say, Coach, he held me. Not a little different blocking scheme. We got to get across. We don't like to trade one for one. But again, just let me keep on going. You see the drill, how that works. Okay, and then we progress to 9 on 8. Sometimes they will allow us to put the safeties in the drill. Sometimes they get upset and take their ball and go home and say, y'all can't play. All right? But what we try to do in this drill, we work angles. We want to make certain. I'm not interested in them going up there killing anybody, but in this drill, I'd like to see those safeties do a great job vicing the football. All right? I'd like to see them do a great job vicing the ball. So here we go. They want to get down in there, though, I tell you. Goodness. And that old coordinator, we run up there and we get excited. Then the next day, they say, well, we can't do that. So I tell them, I said, guys, just don't, every now and then get a good one. But I want them to work, be able to vice the ball. See that backside safety, then the front side safety. Go ahead, man. Now you progress to what? Now we're 7 on 7. And what are you doing? You remember your 3-on-2 drill, your 1-on-1 drill. Now you're putting it together in a bigger group setting. All right. So you're just progressing, and you're just working your disguises, working your different coverages. And as you look down here, there's your 3-on-2 drill. Just playing a little cover 3 right there. Okay. Always, working that disguise. You'll see a lot of your footwork as far as backpedaling and recovering. Your cover 2, the drill that you saw with the speed in the face, jamming. So all you're doing is putting it all together now. All right? Putting it together. Go to the next phase. Okay, here's your team period. Just putting it together now. Okay? You just progressed. You just progressed. As you progress through it, it all starts with the very beginning, guys. It all starts with that stance, that start, that back pedal, that recover, understanding the reception point, understanding I'm in an open field, when I can pull the trigger, when I can't. If you do those things, you stop the big play, you make plays, you can be aggressive, man. That's the thing I like about it. You can be aggressive breaking on the football if you go through the receiver. All right? And those are very important points. Any questions about some of the stuff that I just went over? Let's see if we can get this off. Yes.
I'm a little bit slow on the uptake. Can you go over that 3-step drill, how everybody's set up again?
Okay.
You got 2 quarterback or coaches, and you're in the middle.
Right.
With the player.
Yeah. What we're going to do, again, we're going to be, my guys going to line up like they normally would. Well, I'm going to have the player, I'm going to have my players in a line right here. Players in a line right here. I am in the middle. All right, they are reading off of me, and it'll look like this. I'll go 1, 2, 3. All right, they are breaking off of me, so they're seeing my first 3 steps. They're seeing me through that. Okay, then I have a coach standing out here, and what he's making them do, he's making them break to here. See that? He's making them break so that now when they break, they're breaking to the receiver. They're not breaking to me. They're breaking to the receiver. Okay, and so you do that. I think if you play a lot of off, man, it's really good because what you want to be able to do is absorb that receiver. You want to be slow out of there. If you notice those guys, man, their first couple of steps, they're walking out of there because we line our guys up at 8 yards. So they're kind of walking out of there, and what I'm seeing, that first 2 or 3 steps. If it's a 5-step, then you'll see us snap our heads back to where? The receiver. And you have to train them because once you get them doing it, sometimes they'll stay in here too long and lose sight of that guy. So it's only for those first 2 steps or the first 3 steps. When that quarterback does that, their attention, full attention, should go to the receiver now. Break into the receiver, and that's why we do that to train that. Any other? Yes, sir.
Coach, your individual footwork drills essentially the same for your corners and safeties?
Yes.
It's in groups?
Yes. At Tennessee, our safeties play a lot of man too. All right, but yes, because you got to do the same things. You got to be able to backpedal, turn, and recover. You got to backpedal to all those things. You got to do that. Yes. Any other questions before we go to the next area? Well, I really appreciate it, guys, but I could actually spend a lot more time. Sometimes guys come in here, boy, and they put up these elaborate schemes. And you guys are out there and they put up these elaborate schemes. How many of you take those elaborate schemes back and have time to put all that stuff in? So it's about fundamental. It's about being fundamentally sound.